Shadows creep in the daylight hours, bloodshot eyes and tall towers. Wolves in suits, they hunt and chase. Deadly other demons no face. Pawns on a board, no winning game. Mass intentions all the same.
Hello, and welcome to Field Living. I'm Chris, the owner of the most haunted conjuring house to ever conjure a conjuring demon in conjuring history. More on that later. I'm here with my co-host Stevie. She's here using her Douglas Scarborough Fisher filter. Welcome back, Stevie.
Hey, good to be back. Apparently this even does the voice.
It even does the voice. How amazing is AI these days? No, Stevie obviously isn't here. We understand why she's not here, but we got to keep the show going. And Stevie and I were talking after we had Douglas Scarborough Fisher on the show last time. We got sidetracked with the truthening and other things that were un-Scarborough related. And it was unfair to you, Douglas. And I hate to do this without Stevie, but I'm bringing you back on, and we're going to cover this and cover everything you wanted to talk about.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate it.
Before we do that, let's talk about me.
Well, it's your show, so yeah, go ahead.
No. We're going to get your stuff in. I put out a 3-part series for Halloween week called Fear of the Demon. And I think it confused a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. It was a comedy thing. Now, when I say, if I tell you, and this is true, this really happened, it really happened, I do mean that. Weird things happened in my house that I described. But everything else was just making fun of paranormal explorers on YouTube. And sometimes on television. And I had people complain that it was another demon video, which to me means they thought I was selling out or something. I had a couple people complain about the audio in episode 2. Doug, I think you get it. Episode 2 had to be loud. The music had to be loud.
Yeah.
Because it's the whole joke. Like, you can't, a lot of times when you watch a paranormal video, you can't hear any of the knocks or any of the sounds happening because they have the sound effects and music so loud that if it would be picked up by the mic, you're not going to get it. And
Right.
in fact, 2 days after I posted that, Beardo, we'll talk about Beardo in a minute. Beardo did a review of somebody, I think it was Patty Negri and Shotzi and Scarlett at a place where it actually happened what I did in that video, where they played the sound back at double the audio and all you heard was music.
Right.
So that's, and just if you haven't seen it yet, we have over 300 subscribers. We need more. Tell your friends, spread the word. But most of those 300 subscribers are very loyal to the show and come back every week or every month for whatever we put out. You didn't show up so much for Fear of the Demon. Please watch it, enjoy it. I have to tell you, when you get to part 3 and hear my explanation for why I have the most haunted, most current conjuring demon house, you'll understand that my reasoning is so ridiculous that it's even more ridiculous when you consider people really have just as ridiculous things they come to the conclusion of on their haunting investigations. So it's really inspired by the fact that Elton and Matt bought the Warren house and just let people call it the Conjuring house. They don't actually correct anybody. We all correct people. They don't. Then there's the new Conjuring house, the Smurl house, where they went into the wrong side of the duplex. Was it Sam and Colby?
Yeah, Sam and Colby. Yep.
And then there's the Conjuring house from Destination X that is the neighbor's house that's haunted by association, and something that we're going to cover. I'm not doing any reactions without Stevie. We're going to have Terry there for that one. That's just in the wings waiting for availability of everybody. But that's why I did it, and I did it for Halloween. I did it for you guys, so watch it and then tell people about it. It's fun. Doug,
Yeah, if somebody's saying that it's like too many, not another demon video and everything, it's like you didn't watch the video.
And you don't really know what our channel is.
Right.
You don't know what the channel is. Yeah, I do you think people would be more likely to watch it again if I re-record it as one long thing and just change the audio and tweak it a little bit?
Maybe. I mean, at least it would give like another option.
Yeah.
Because they're fairly short videos, so that wouldn't be too bad as one contained piece.
I think it'd be better. I just did it for 3 episodes so I can have that to be continued, to be concluded thing, and have fun with it. Um, I wanted
Yeah,
people to wonder what
you
was
can do the
behind that
chapter
door.
breaks.
You know
Oh
what?
yeah. Oh, you could do like the chapter breaks with the like big bass drop.
Yeah,
You know,
I could.
kind of
That's
thing.
an idea. Let me write that down in my head mentally right now and remember it later. Doug, I promise you, I will let you drive this one because
Hey, no problem.
we kind of didn't give you the proper opportunity in the last episode here. So drive us away, just so people don't, in case people don't know, if you're in the chat for Beardo or for Florio or for Boo Paranormal or for Crow Judas or for Lady Sprite or for Truth or Demons or for if you're all these shows. If you're in there and you see Scarborough Gatekeeper, it's this guy. Always has really great stuff to add in.
Also, side eye guy.
Inside, how did I forget Side Eye Guy? Oh
I,
my god.
I don't know.
Most of my viewers come from Side Eye Guy. All right. go, go ahead, Doug. What do you want to start with here?
Well, I think well with the first time that I was on, we did have that little thing where we had to re-record, which I think
Yeah.
is where a little bit of the stuff fell off. But that that's how the things kind of go. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think we kind of said like where I actually sort of came from, at least in a basic sense.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I am a paranormal enthusiast. Uh, I started off fairly young, seeing things like the Warrens being on, I think it was Inside Entertainment Tonight, an old Entertainment Tonight episode where they featured Annabelle. And it was just like, this is the most haunted doll in the world. This is amazing.
Still doing it. Yeah.
It's just evergreen, man.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's like watching In Search of with Leonard Nimoy all the time. Always love those episodes. I still love those episodes. The research is a little bit outdated, but having him narrate everything is like comfort food. You know.
Did you watch Robert
Um,
Stack on what was that? The stories, the
oh, Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries. Thank you. I just drew a blank. I appreciate that. Yes, Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh yeah, yeah. I loved Unsolved Mysteries. Um, and not only when they occasionally actually did the paranormal stuff. It's starting off, I think that was only Halloween episodes, and then later seasons they did it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think
But
they
then,
wanted to up the ante a little bit. Yeah.
oh yeah, um, whenever they did the breaking update, you're kind of hoping that it would be like a paranormal thing and not like, oh, we found the person and they were dead. It was like what half of them were. It's like we finally have some information. The people that our viewers called in, and it's a sad story.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I found the book The Demonologist, about Ed and Lorraine Warren at a tag sale that my aunt's friend was doing. And I was like, oh, what's this? And she's like, oh, here, just have it. I'm like, okay. And I read through that and I'm like, this is amazing. I love these Warren people. Um, and then we go through the years and it turns out, it's like, of course, they're human as anybody else, but it's like maybe they weren't truthful necessarily all the time.
Not
Um,
necessarily.
right. Uh, but then you get into paranormal TV and everybody's patterning their stuff off of Ed and Lorraine. You know, uh, and sometimes people are trying to pattern themselves off of Hans Holzer too. But it usually was leaning more towards Ed and Lorraine, and like we have to record everything, and we have to see if there's spooky things here, and oh my God, it's a demon, and now we've gone right back at this point to Ed and Lorraine, and everything's a demon.
I feel like the lady, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the lady in Poltergeist was based on Lorraine. This
Maybe a
house
little
is
bit.
clear.
Why am I blanking on her character's name? It's Zelda Rubinstein is the actress.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think she was also E.T.
no, that was
Oh,
another
somebody
lady.
else? Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah, that chain smoked for years, and she was doing the voice when she was like 70 or something.
Oh, okay.
That's why there's that raspy kind of thing to ET.
My bad. My bad.
Um,
I think I've said this before, and I think you're alluding to this, Doug. Is a lot of stuff that Ed Warren said off the top of his head is basically considered historical research now, and people use it as their basis for what their research is, and it's kind of a really bad snowball effect there, where things just aren't going to go the right direction to get real results.
It's kind of like a snake eating its own tail type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whenever, especially on Ghost Adventures, but it happened on uh, Paranormal State as well, and even Ghost Hunters, where it's like, the rule of three or the witching hour, or um, you know, just like, that we have theories that this is how it works, but it's something that came from Ed and Lorraine, and Ed and Lorraine stuff seems to come from movies and books, fiction movies and books, or allegedly not
More,
fiction, but
more
we're
sleepy
thinking they're actually
tale.
more fiction. Yeah. Or things like the Twilight Zone,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
I too
it's
admired
just
them.
very
Like
bizarre.
I would watch this paranormal stuff. I don't mean to walk on you there, but I would watch this paranormal stuff, and I would say, like, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if that's real. Oh wait, they brought in Lorraine in. They brought Ed and Lorraine in, and they said it's a demon. This might be something. And they people believed them. I believed them. You believed them.
Right. Um, and of course, with Paranormal TV, it's like it really kind of started with Most Haunted, which really started with a special that they did in England. Not the Most Haunted People, but that was made in England, called Ghost Watch,
I've heard that
which
mentioned. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
it's really interesting. I mean, you can kind of you're looking at watching it now, you can kind of see around the edges. But it was like 91, yeah, 91 or 92, and it was aired, theoretically live. Like they told everybody they were live, and all sorts of things happened.
Were they live?
No, it was all pre-recorded.
So live on
They, but
tape.
but if you watch it, they're broadcasting it as though it's actually live, and
They
like
have
they
live
have
in the
things.
corner.
They have a studio portion going on, and they're like, we're taking calls, and they have supposed calls, and like a little call center even, and they have some another person kind of taking care of that. So it's done as though it's real, and it actually freaked a lot of people out because they thought that it was real. And then the next day is like everybody talked about it at school or at work, and is like, oh my god, I saw real paranormal stuff on TV. And there's a very, very sad portion of this where there's a young man that unfortunately harmed himself, uh, thinking that Ghost Watch was real and it proves that there's life after death, so I'm just going to unalive myself.
We hear these stories so much. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad, and that's how come it was never aired again on BBC, because they're like, okay, we don't want this to happen again, and we got so much hate mail and hate phone calls before that even happened.
So that was the end of the series because of that.
Yeah, it wasn't a series; it was like an hour and a half special,
Oh, they had
basically.
specials, and they just stopped doing the special. They didn't ever do like
Yeah.
entertainment purposes at the beginning or anything like that.
I don't think so. I don't think that was there. If it was at the very, very beginning. And the hosts that are on there are people that were hosts for other regular shows.
Like
You know,
legitimate
whether
people, like reporters
yeah,
or
whether they
whatever.
were yeah, whether they were like news programs, or like like kids chat shows or whatever. Um, yeah, like they use some of like the actual people, and it's like, okay, here's your lines instead of you like interviewing somebody. So it was all very constructed thing. And then a couple years later, Most Haunted started up, going,
Most haunted.
okay, we're gonna go looking for ghosts. And literally the first couple episodes, it's like, here's our hairdresser, here's our makeup person, and they're out here looking for ghosts with us. Like the first couple episodes are really creaky.
They're
uh,
the ones that did all that stuff at East 30 Drive, right? Like the really popular one for years.
yes,
Most haunted. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and but eventually they had things of like, we're having these knocks that are following us from location to location. This is the most amazing thing. Mosan was also where Derek Akora was, and there was a whole thing of taking him down where he was a purported psychic, and their parapsychologist was trying to test him and put little things up in the location that was an anagram of Derek is a faker, and but it was as somebody's name. Just the letters were rearranged. And Derek is like, I'm getting something, and it's this name. And they're all like, okay, all right, he's just, literally
Trolling.
reading the room. He's probably looking the information up ahead of time.
Oh, does
He's
he not know they're doing this to him?
when they tested him, no, he did not know that they were trying to test him.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, all right. That's like trick and
Yeah, it
discipline.
was it was Kieran O'Keefe that was the actual paranormal researcher person that was trying to test him. Yeah, because it was just like, how is he getting these hits? This is amazing. We need to test this, and he fell right into the test.
So you're telling me about your beginnings, and in this conversation, it sounds like your beginnings are like the rest of us. It's basically paranormal, satanic panic indoctrination from the 80s and 70s.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So at what point? I'm just curious. At what point do you turn to the this might not be real, these people might not be legit, debunking side of things?
Like it was always kind of there a little bit. Like, let's look into like actual histories and stuff, and because a lot of times things didn't quite line up.
You got tired of not
But
knowing, so you just went researching.
yeah, but
Okay.
where the wheels really fell off, like I liked Ghost Hunters, but then Ghost Adventures is where the wheels really fell off. Because their stuff was so wild and so overreacting to everything. And then it's like you actually look into the information that, based on what they're getting, is like, this doesn't line it up at all. What the heck? Like, this is made up. This is complete fiction. What are you guys doing?
Zach Baggins is the first person to ever seen yell at Ghost, trying to get him angry.
And like, yelling at his compatriots there too. It was in their opening for a long time. Stop running. Like, okay, you're a little extra over the top there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So what happens next here in your coming up into the paranormal debunking and everything else? What else did you want to cover here?
Well, but kind of after that point, one of my old high school friends got back in touch with me, and he was like, "Hey, you like ghosts, right? Like, I see you're posting, Ghostbuster stuff and you know things about the paranormal shows and stuff." He's like, "I just joined a paranormal group. Do you want to join this thing with me?" And I'm like, "That sounds phenomenal." And it was a group called Parapatrol, out of North Central Massachusetts, and I was with them for like about 6 months or a year and a half, somewhere around there. And it was, actually going out and actually checking places out.
So they were legit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like actually going in, interviewing. I would actually like on the computer like draw maps of the location and go, okay, here's where they're saying things are happening. You know, it's like, this is the bedroom, this is the bathroom, whatever. All that kind of stuff.
All right.
We would go through and take baselines, then we would go through and do an investigation, and then review all the evidence. And we occasionally found things. Uh, Not a whole ton, but we did find things occasionally.
I'm gonna
Um,
presume that it looked nothing like what we see on YouTube.
not that exciting, no.
No, okay. So what are some of the more interesting things that you did find?
Well, the when I first started with them, there was one that I could not get to that was in a hotel in New Hampshire, out over near the White Mountains. Not the one that Amy Bruni always goes to. Another one kind of roughly in the area. Uh, and this was one that they didn't bring the light up cat balls because those weren't a thing yet. But they brought but they brought like the small ping pong balls, and
Just if they would roll on their own some way or another.
yeah, yeah, and the photos that were taken in the series, the balls kept on moving. You know, they didn't have, you know, the team didn't have video cameras,
And you
but
witnessed this, or
the others witnessed it. I reviewed it. I kept on saying that it's like, well, you know, people could have kicked it or something. Like, no, 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 no. We were all standing still. So, you know, that's I've got to take them at their word at that point.
yeah,
And they got an EVP there. Uh, that it's like there was just some chatter going on, and I thought I heard somebody saying, you know, one of the people was like, "Hey, are these monitors on?" And there was a little bit of back and forth, and somebody like laughed and said, "It was me." And
it was me. Was the one that was not one of the voices of the people who were in the room. Is that correct?
right, right, reviewing it with the actual team, they're like, "That wasn't any of our voices. Like, what the hell?" So that was
That's
interesting.
interesting. That is interesting. You know
So
what I
before
don't
we,
believe? You know what I don't believe? The
what's that?
EVPs where they know a name that hasn't been said yet.
Hmm.
Because ghosts are ghosts. They're not psychic. They're just afterlife. No one says afterlife is all knowing. You know, I don't know where that comes from.
Also, a lot of the EVPs where it's like, yeah, where it just goes, it's like, oh, it said get out now,
And
and
they're
you hear like
sure of
that,
it. They're sure of it. Yeah.
like that's a class A, and you hear like that was you like scuffing your foot on the ground in this abandoned place you're in, dude. What the heck?
I wanted to do some of that. I didn't have time to put that together for the series I did. Some of the voice EVPs.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, that could be fun. Do a director's cut later.
There'll be another day. Yeah.
um, so you know, we didn't catch a lot visually. There was a thing with those little ping pong balls, which I have to take everybody else at their word about because I wasn't on
I'd
site.
feel better if I was there to see it.
Oh, for sure, I would too. Or if they actually had or if they actually had like cameras running that you could, you know, stop and play back and go, okay, wait a second, you know, it's like somebody got up and shifted and moved their foot and then it moved, okay, or nobody moved at all and this thing is just going on its own. Um, there were claims of a ghost cat in that place, so that was
Okay.
part of why they brought the little ping pong balls. Um,
I'm
so,
not going to
so that
say
was
that ghost cats aren't a thing because something I said in the series that is a true story. You know, heard a meow, so it is.
I'm fairly certain personally that ghost cats are a thing because you
I'm
know
not going to say I understand it either.
we've actually lost a few cats and we still see them occasionally.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, like they're still checking up on their humans, you know.
Something. Yeah. I don't
Yeah, maybe they're
understand
still
it.
trying
I
to
don't.
find treats. But
I didn't mean to sidetrack you. Go ahead.
oh,
The
no problem, no
balls, the
problem.
ping pong balls.
While I was with them, we did you know, a few residential cases, uh, and there was one that the client was absolutely sure that stuff was happening. We wound up not really finding anything. Uh, you know, we did find that, you know, near the client's bed was like a high EMF coming from an outlet that was like right next to the bed. So it's like that may not have been helping. Excuse me. But
Did this
not very
house
much.
have? Did this house have like floor vents?
I believe that one did.
So yeah, I'd rather have been there when those balls moved.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was the hotel. But yeah, they had vents in the floor.
Okay.
But it was like an older hotel, so it was like vents in the floor that were just like holes down into the next floor. So I don't know. Um,
Yeah, it's hard to say. Okay, but it's not nothing. It's not nothing.
right,
You know.
right. It's at least anomalous. You know, even if we don't know exactly how it happened, they did seem to keep on moving.
That's crazy.
Um, and one of the other residential cases, this client, their dog kept on getting locked in the bathroom, and the dog was a Chihuahua, and it's like they should not be able to accidentally lock themselves in the bathroom. Like it would actually lock.
Yeah,
Like that
I'm
dog,
trying to envision this. This is I have a
right?
cat
Like
that
that
can
dog
do
would
that.
not get up there to lock it.
I have a cat that can do that, but I think the cat's probably even bigger than a Chihuahua at this point.
Well, yeah, and definitely, or usually more, more agile.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah, I don't imagine Chihuahuas being agile.
right?
Uh,
So,
so oh,
but we went through, and we went through and we checked out certain things, and it's like one of these closets. The door was supposed to fall open all the time and everything. Then we actually broke out a level and checked and everything, and it's like, well, this is not, uh, like it was actually kind of off, uh, off angle with the level. So it's just like it's going to naturally try to open. But we didn't get anything visually on that one. But we did get EVP where the head of the group was trying to lead an EVP session and trying to ask, "Oh, but do you like her dogs? Do you like her dogs? I like her dogs." And we got a gruff but fairly clear response. Like a little bit staticky, but no, I hate dogs. None of us said that. Like none of us freaking
you're
said
saying
that.
this was crystal clear? No, I hate dogs.
I not crystal clear. There was a little bit of static, but it was fairly apparent that's what it was saying, and it was a recorder that was just sitting in the center of the room, so it wasn't like anybody was accidentally brushing it or anything like that.
Do you have a copy of this EVP?
It
An electronic
should
copy?
be on the Parapatrol website still. I think that's still up.
Parapatrol. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, I think it's
Send me a
parapatrol.org.
link later, and I'll even put it in the comments. Where
Oh, sure. I'm not sure that they're still going. I think the head of the group is still doing stuff, but I think they're not
as a group, it's not
terribly
official.
active. Yeah, I think they're not terribly active, like going out and doing investigations and stuff at this point.
That's
Um,
crazy. I can tell you
but like
this.
I,
I think you may have heard me talk about this before on other conversations on YouTube, but I heard an EVP at a location I went to that I was pretty clear on. I played it for someone else, and they heard the same thing I heard. But if I play it today, I don't hear it at all.
oh, geez,
I mean, there's something to be said for audio pareidolia,
right.
and even
I don't-
it confirmed, BIOS confirmation and things like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, there is a whole thing of like, okay, play it. Hey, do you hear something there? And people are searching around for it. But if you go, we think this says this, and then you play it, the person's going to go, yeah, it's crystal clear.
Right.
Yeah, like
Right.
it happened on especially Ghost Hunters quite a bit. But I noticed with those guys, they were like, like, hey, we think we hear something here. What do you hear? And they'd play for the person a couple times first. And if they're like, we don't really know, they'd be like, well, we think it says this. So it's still a little bit leading, but at least it's like
Yeah.
let them hear it unbiased first. You know, see if they get it.
Yeah.
And in the
So
training,
tricky. Yeah.
it really is. And in the training investigation that we did uh, with me, the head of our group was talking about Brian Harnwath, who was from Ghost Hunters,
Uh huh.
and it was a place that they kind of like came to do little training investigations kind of a lot. And so they were talking very familiarly with the potential spirits around and going, hey, we've got this new guy and he seems like Brian from Ghost Hunters. What do you guys think? And I'm sitting and rolling my eyes and stuff like, I am not like Brian. Like, I'm not going to go, dude, run and run away from something, in a place that we're supposed to be investigating.
Can we all be allowed to have our own identities? I mean,
I mean, he had hats made with dude run.
Jesus.
Like he did the merch and he was on the show still, wearing the merch, and Jason's just like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Uh,
that changed progressively through the years with Ghost Hunters, man.
yeah, they got kind of, like they still joke around, but they got a little bit more serious as they went and stuff. But with
Not
that
before
training,
going too far the other way first without Jason.
well, yeah, like I didn't mind the 2 years with Grant running it, but it was like I was having to get used to like a whole new crew and their whole new way of doing
Well,
things.
it went from being they debunk things and maybe once in a while might have some evidence and they can say they think it might be haunted, kind of like really what you went through with your paranormal
Yeah.
company, to every episode. The Maglites, the EVPs, something
Oh yeah,
moves, something's on the infrared. There's always something. Every single episode. That's when I started going, bullshit.
right. And then especially the live investigation that they did, uh, where Grant's collar kept on getting pulled in
Yeah.
exactly in the same way every time.
But that was back when it used to be considered more legit.
Right.
But that
Yeah,
happened.
because it was a 3 hour live thing, and you know, my personal opinion, Jason has said that he knew nothing about it. I think that one of the producers, went up to Grant and they're like, "Here, we added something to your jacket. There's a little thing there, so you can make something happen while it's live. Don't tell Jason."
I wonder if that was it Ghost Hunters that a couple years later did a maybe the next year they did a live Halloween overnight and there was a guy with a cowboy hat that said he was going to try to catch a ghost in this electrical field and they caught him throwing his walkie-talkie saying it was knocked out of his hand.
Oh yeah, no, that was Ghost Adventures.
That was Ghost Adventures. At least we see you have to do that when you're full of crap. You have to
Right, you
manufacture
have
people
to force
manufacturing
it.
evidence. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you have to force it, man. At least, at least with that, also the very next episode that they aired, they shot a quick thing going, "Hey, we think that this happened. We think that this was not real. We're very sorry that we, put this out there
And
and everything."
and now, if that's your first experience with Ghost Adventures, you're going, well, these guys are legit,
Right.
right? That's how the game is played.
Yeah, and now I don't know. I finally like I was still watching it because I'm like, oh, it's still kind of fun. It's not fun anymore. Yeah, the last like 2 seasons, I just had to stop completely. Like I didn't think that it was real, but at least it was like, okay, these are interesting places they're checking out. Let's see what the claims of activity are, and it just degenerated into all of them would start getting possessed every episode.
The possession thing, man. I don't even want to talk. There's just it's like the sitcom where the life-changing issue occurs that they resolve in 30 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Doug, what else did you want to cover? I don't want you to miss anything here.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Well, one of the other things was, I mean, related to Ghost Adventures, was Dybbuk boxes.
Divic boxes, okay.
Oh yes. The whole thing where it's supposedly this Jewish folklore that you trap a demon in this box and everything, and the guy that owned the original one that the Ghost Adventures, well, that Zach Baggins has in his museum now, it was like, oh, and it made my mother get sick and everything, and
It's
you
not even
know,
related to the lore. It's like-
no, well, that's the thing. The like Dybbuk boxes are not a thing in Jewish. This is some folklore. In the religion, there's not a thing for capturing Dybbuks. Dybbuks aren't demons. Dybbuks are
now,
ghosts that they're supposed to be ghosts that latch onto you, but because they have unfinished business, it's not a
now
demon.
I think we talked about this, but I think we talked about it on the version of the interview that we had to not use. That Elton
Right.
wanted to use a Divic box, right? Elton wants to manufacture capturing ghosts,
Yeah, it's
releasing them
very.
into the Warring House
Well, he
for
wants he wants to turn the Warren house into a Dybbuk house.
13 ghosts or something.
Effectively, he. he wanted to do an experiment that you have, a ton of paranormal teams go through and find nothing, make sure it's not there, and then you bring in people that need exorcisms done and have them do 13 exorcisms in the house
Capture them all in the Divic.
and then investigate again and see if you can forcibly haunt a house that way. And it's just like, oh, dude, no, no. Besides, it's like that's wrong. That's wrong on so many levels. Don't do that. Don't
Well,
do that.
when you
Just
when you get past the earthly, moral, and ethical issues with it, then you run into just it's not science at all. It's just fantasy.
right, and it's just trying to spook people. Like it truly is.
I
Um,
You should delete that
it's-
and be embarrassed he ever recorded having that stand up where you said all that.
yeah, I think like it was stand up or it was Q&A or something.
Well, it wasn't stand
Like
up comedy. I just mean he was like
yeah,
stand up in front of a
it
crowd of
was.
people
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, but I mean, that's a whole separate issue that Elton seems to just say whatever's on his mind, even if it's a little weird or off color or something. Let's say, um,
Yes.
but with those Dybbuk boxes, one, they were never a thing. They were created by a guy named Kevin Mannis, that is that original owner of that first one, who's had some dealings with Zach Baggins. Um, if you look on eBay at this point, there's dozens of supposed Dybbuk boxes, and they all look different, but they all seem roughly the same. Where they're sealed with wax. Sometimes they've got like pentacles on them. Sometimes they've got crosses,
And
and
people
it's
are
like, well,
buying
this
these.
is yes, and thinking that they're haunted, and it's so weird. There was one that had um like a baseball card kind of embedded into it, where it's like, what in the heck is this even doing? It's like they're these weird art projects. So
I wonder if
he
there's a
got
subconscious thing about that, where he wants people to subconsciously think of Field of Dreams or something.
possibly that person, maybe. But so Kevin Mannis was very irate with this because people were talking about all these other quote unquote Dybbuk boxes, and he said, "No, those are not Dybbuk boxes. They're not Dybbuk boxes unless they have this, and this inside of them. I know because I created this for an eBay listing. It's my concept. I made the whole thing up."
Oh, he owned it. Oh,
Oh yeah,
really?
there's I'd have to dig the Greg and Dana Newkirk have done posts about it. He posted up on Facebook, I
Because
think in response to one of their posts.
he loses money to other people if people are allowed to
Right,
make his product. It's a really rough spot for him to be in, but that's what you get for spreading bullshit.
right. Especially since there was a movie about a Dybbuk box. I think it was called The Possession.
Okay.
He's one of the producers of that movie. So it's his concept. He made a movie about it. He's generally works in the Hollywood area. Like that's the kind of stuff that he does.
I swear,
But
Doug, at this point, if I hadn't had my own paranormal experiences, I would completely discredit the paranormal community as a complete and total ridiculous fraud. I wouldn't believe anything was real.
also you would pull a Harry Houdini.
I guess.
Yeah, like he started, like he was trying at one point to go to seances to get messages from his mother who had passed away that he loved very much,
And they weren't
and he could
common.
tell he could tell that these mediums were doing magician's tricks that he knew from himself and from other practicing, stage magicians. So he switched it up and said, "Okay, no, I'm going to be debunking all these people." And that was like his secondary life's work for the latter part of his life.
But that's what's frustrating is I know there's something real, and I don't know what it is. But it's not this.
Yeah, it doesn't perform on command, whatever is there.
Right. That's exactly right. You can't control it. And that's why I think a lot of times people have psychic abilities. I don't think they're psychic abilities where you can walk into a room and say, Hey, did your grandfather's name start with a B? Yeah, Benny says hi. He's looking out for you. He's proud of you. I don't believe that shit. I just don't think that's possible.
Well, and especially like that because they wind up always being the most I'm sorry, the most basic platitudes. I tried to combine those two words together.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
It's weird when you actually look at it. I know Flario's done videos examining specific, supposed psychics, and it's very bald faced. It's just a generic thing. Uh, they push very generically, doing the cold reading stuff. If it's a personal thing, they might be doing hot reading, where they've looked up somebody's information ahead of time, which I think Cody and Satori, in effect, that's all that they did or are doing
That's what I
because
heard. Yeah.
they're still, I mean, they're still doing, quote unquote investigations, but they're always having different people with them at the
Oh,
places. And somehow the people's loved ones always come through, and it's like, well, wait a second, that come
are
on.
they still doing the paranormal couple thing?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they've still got their Patreon. Um, yeah, they still call themselves the Paranormal Couple, which, guys, honestly, was stolen from Greg and Dana Newkirk.
Who are those
So,
guys?
those are a couple of people that have headed up a. You can find their stuff on Amazon uh, Prime or on YouTube. A show called Hellier, where they're investigators. She's more towards the magic side. Um, and they wind up going into somebody reported to them that they had what they call goblins, coming out of a cave near their property in Kentucky and like messing with their kids at night, like trying to get in the house. And so the series winds up being them trying to investigate those claims, especially after the person that asked for help disappeared.
Hmm.
So it winds up being very interesting, and sometimes the investigation it goes down dead ends,
Oh wow.
which honestly feels a lot more realistic. Um, but they had a Patreon for their they called it the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult when they started.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would go to conventions and they'd be like, here we have supposed haunted objects here. We have movie props from X Files and spooky movies and stuff, and it's like bring these things out to show people and everything, and they would collect people's stories and also do investigations. And when Cody and Satori started their Patreon, they copied word for word the Patreon of Greg and Dana.
All
That's
right
that's
then.
one of those, it's one of those things. It's like, okay, even if you guys are saying, like Cody and Satori, even if you guys are saying that you're real and this process is real, you copied your Patreon, nearly word for word from another couple of people.
You know,
So
great business model if you can look yourself in the mirror in the morning. I mean, but
yeah, it's
Jesus.
very weird. Uh, of course, I saw on Jason Hawes's social media that Satori just had her 25th birthday, and I swore that she was older. So, so a part of me is
I
just,
have no idea. I have no idea.
I was like, with that stuff, a part of me is just like, well, she's probably, a very nice person, you know, like to know personally. But what she
Have fun
and
with
Cody
that.
were
I like her. I
doing,
like her dad. Have fun with that though. Her
yeah,
little brother's okay too. I think. But yeah.
just like what she's doing with Cody, it's just like, it's like, all right. So personally, I sort of feel like, okay, is she just being kind of railroaded through doing this stuff? And because she's like 5 years younger than Cody, also,
So,
you know,
so you think she's just being led into this life?
I mean, it's a possibility at least.
I mean,
Um,
I feel for Jason
and-
because he's never going to really get into it, and I try not to get into it too much. But let's just say if Jason doesn't like that she's doing it, there's nothing he can do about it. She's an adult, and
right.
then she's his daughter. And if I know anything about Jason, and I barely know him, but I have communicated with him directly, he's a good guy that doesn't want to shake anybody's boat unless they
Right,
deserve it, or they're not
right. And
his daughter.
yeah, and he supports his family.
He supports
Yeah,
people I would never support, but not like in a malicious way that concerns me. I just think he's just a good guy.
right. I mean, that's honestly the feeling that I kind of get there too. Um, I know there's all the stuff now with the with him doing the GoFundMe for the Conjuring house, which is a whole that could be an entire episode on its own.
Yeah, eh. I support what he's doing. I think there's worse hands it could end up in. I do have the obvious concerns about it, but I think it's the best case scenario. So I hope it works out.
Yeah, I do as well. And at least so that you can check the place out for for not 1,000 to 2,000 a night.
Right,
Like
right.
that's insane what certain other people are doing.
I'm sure there's something there. It is nowhere near on the level anyone has told us it is. It's no,
Right.
just like everything else.
I know that's the thing. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence,
It's a great track
and
record.
there has not been a ton of actual evidence that's come out from there. You know, it's like Sam and Colby did their stuff there, but their stuff there was mostly with Cody and Satori. So
So
personally, I
boring.
don't feel
Yeah.
that's yeah. Personally, I don't feel that's really evidence. Just just my opinion.
I was fooled for 5 minutes.
Yeah, the
I was
thing that got
fooled
me
for
was
five
that
minutes.
it was so consistent. Like, how is it that consistent?
Nothing's ever that consistent.
Right.
I think when I knew for sure that I believe that they're fake, and I say I believe because, what do we know? But I believe is when I saw that Cody was doing it years before he met Satori by
Oh yeah.
himself singly. But they said that they discovered this when they met each other, like it was some kind of like connection that made this possible, which has been
Right.
altered a couple times too. Why that would be, people have questioned that and they've tried to answer it.
Yeah, their answer always kind of changes slightly as they go.
Yeah,
Which there's
yeah,
there's a long proud tradition of that actually. I mean,
nothing's
just
consistent.
look at what Stevie's found with the Warrens. It's like, Lorraine's origin story changes over the years. You know, like it
Annabelle's
does.
story changes. Everything changes.
Right.
Even
Um.
even even John Zaffis. As much as I think he was very, very, like, you saw Stevie got to talk to John Zaffis with Taryn on Paranormal Baruch. Go check it out. I'll link it in the comments. Excellent interview. Zaffis was so forthcoming and so candid, but even he had a whole other story, a version of the story of the motorcycle accident.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if an
I
accident
still,
happened or not now. I know that road wasn't there. I
right.
know that diner wasn't there. I know there was no girlfriend and there was no deaths. Was there an accident with no? Why is there so many versions?
Right. So that's what I'm wondering with how he told the story. I wonder if that's the original story, that they did have an accident, but as several people have pointed out, the roads in that area, the road that it was supposed to happen on, or well, near where the road was it was supposed to happen on, because the actual road it supposedly happened on, according to Dan Rivera, rest in peace, did not exist at the time of the supposed accident.
And I think Elkin
Um,
kind of carries on that story as well, the way it was told by Dan. I think he stands by it, if I'm not mistaken. But since I mentioned Stevie, let me just say this real quick for the listeners and viewers. Just when Stevie's not here, I'm sure she would back up most of what I'm saying. But my opinions and my words are my opinions and my words. Just to be sure we cover that. Go ahead, Doug.
and just like my opinions are my own, it's not the opinions of the channel.
Right, and the channel's opinions are not
I'm
the
just a
opinions
guest.
of Doug's. We can keep going with this forever, but I will let you
Yeah.
talk here.
Um, but that is a very interesting interview that they did. I think with overnight at the Warren House stuff, I feel that they've just been told and handed a bunch of things you know, from Tony Spirit, honestly. And it's just like, okay, here's the thing,
I don't think Tony
here's
has the same story every time either.
no, and he definitely doesn't have the same story as John does on things. And you'd think that
I want to
John would
say
be
this.
closer to the source.
If I want to give John the benefit of the doubt, and I really do want to give John the benefit of the doubt, Taryn and Stevie talked a lot about perspectives. Like, maybe most of what John says that's questionable, kind of for us, because I think we might be on the same page on some of those things. Some of those things might be more what John actually believes because he wasn't necessarily clued in on everything or present for all of it. Does that make sense? Like, he just believes what he was told by his family.
It makes some sense. But part of what I'm looking at also is he was actually there a lot more than Tony
Anybody
was.
else? Yeah, yeah.
Like Tony
Some
was
of it,
supposed,
some
like
of it
Tony
might
was
be to
just
leave a
there on
little
a
bit of
couple of
mystery in there.
investigations.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's like what we seem to be able to find is that Tony was only there on a couple of investigations and just like almost tangentially.
I want to know how many investigations there were. As I don't think there were many. I don't believe it. I just don't.
Yeah, not thousands and thousands and thousands.
And I can't
Especially
believe. I can't
especially
believe.
people haven't come forward to you guys. You put out the call going, please come on. We'll
The week
just have a chat.
challenge. Yes, the week challenge. And I am unbelievably disappointed. Although I understand she was geeked out and really involved in the interview there with John, but I'm disappointed Stevie did not pose the week challenge to John right there on the show. But it was what it was. We'll have our opportunities. I'm gonna get
Right.
Eric on
And
here
then
soon,
there's going to be a part two of that. So
and there's gonna be a part two of that. Right.
yeah,
So so take a look
John
for
told me
that.
he was going to come back. So Taryn has told us. So
All the more reason for my words not to be Stevie's because I don't want him to back out of a second interview. Because I have questions and concerns. I said when I was watching that interview, I thought to myself and I said, I think I'm leaning. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards Kenny Biddle than Chris these days. I'm leaning more towards Party Pooper than anything else on most things anymore, and it's really sad. I don't want to be Kenny. I like Kenny Biddle. I don't want to be Kenny Biddle, but never stop learning, I guess.
oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. You know looking at the science and looking at people's behaviors and trying to debunk things, helps keep us honest.
Yeah.
Anybody doing investigations, it helps keep us honest. Um, Kenny coming through and going like, look, the DR60, you can have it sitting on the floor in the room, and it's going to pick up stuff that sounds like a roar. That was not in the room at the time, but it's not a ghost. It's crappy microphone with a crappy case.
It picks something up in the room, just a movement. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Just roaring static.
And if you're holding it, your fingers, even if you think you're holding it still, your fingers could be moving and flexing that case.
Yep.
And it's going to be picking stuff up. The microphone on those things just are made to be in a room and just raise the audio level of the whole floor of the audio level up. They're supposed to be for, like, if somebody is doing an autopsy or something and they're moving around, or if you're having a college class and you're trying to, you're sitting way back and you're trying to get the professor's words from up front.
Yeah.
They're not made for catching EVP. Like at all.
No. And I've caught what maybe EVP sounds, and apparently EVP is not always voices. I'm learning, could be other sounds, but you can catch it on your iPhone. You don't need a recorder
Right.
or a special device. This is all marketing. It's all marketing.
Yeah, and marketing for a canceled, recalled piece of hardware that was the first integrated circuit recorder, because that's what the IC is. It's integrated circuit.
Well, if you want to fake ghost hunt right, I mean, you got
Right,
the
and that's
equipment.
That's how come they're starting to go for on eBay. They're starting to go for about 3,000 now.
I'm gonna buy a dead bell. I'm gonna buy a dead bell, and I'm gonna turn it on fully charged and put it somewhere in the room, not near me, while I do one of these podcasts, and see how many times it goes off during an interview or a conversation. I want to see what happens, just to test it, because even though weird things happen in my house, I don't think there's a ghost looking to ring a bell. I just don't.
Right.
Especially if I don't
And
instruct it,
especially,
like, this is something you can touch and interfere and contact us. Just put it there and see what happens.
and I feel like if that was going to happen, a regular bell would work better than the dead bell.
What's the difference?
Because the dead bell has a little piece of electronics in it to
Well, it's supposed to be a sensor, right?
supposedly have the spirits interact with it, and the spirits will make it ring the bell. And it's like, well, it theoretically would be easier for something to move the bell itself.
Guys, it's spiritual energy, not fucking gremlins. They don't know how to translate English through your fucking app or a fucking dead bell or whatever. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Um, what else did you want to talk
Actually,
about here, Doug? What else you got there? Go ahead.
well, the next thing is sort of a big thing, and it does kind of relate to the dead bell slightly, because Beardo was actually sent a dead bell from a paranormal group that was like, here, we think this thing is not, we don't think it's actually capturing anything here. We don't want it anymore. Have it, but it broke on the way to him in the mail. Like it just like would not work because he
Well,
was gonna pull it
then
and test it and everything, and it's like, okay, come on.
that would suggest it already was faulty to some degree. Like if it
Yeah,
broke that easily.
I mean, it's like a lot of the stuff on
Never
that
happened.
the Ghost Stop website. Um, it feels very overpriced for what the pieces are,
No
and a
matter
lot
where
of
you
times
find the stuff, it's overpriced. Yeah.
oh yeah, but like the casings are 3D printed. You know, the electronics are from a from a kid's toy, like for the REM pods. And it's just like everything's kind of loose, and it's like, okay, it feels like it's made to give false positives, man.
This word gets overused, but the grift is huge. The grift in the
Oh yeah,
paranormal is huge.
oh yeah.
I mean, it gets
But as I
overused,
was,
but it's pertinent. I mean,
it is um, the but so the reason why that was related was the next thing would be Beardo, and he just dealt with a thing where he came fairly close to losing his channel,
yes.
which for 3 years has been his livelihood. You know, all because a couple of paranormal channels said, "No, you suck. I'm going to copyright strike you."
I have a
Well, I'm
lot to
sorry,
say about that. Yeah.
oh, but my personal opinion, man, copyright takedown notices don't make us believe you.
No, not at all. It actually makes me believe you less.
Yeah, that's
What
kind
are
of the
you
thing. Like,
hiding? What are you trying to what are you trying to silence? What is what who hurt you and where did they touch you?
right, uh,
What are you what are you doing? Go
right.
ahead.
What's making it so that you're not doing the normal thing of, you know, YouTube is being critical. You have so many channels that are, hey, we're gonna be very critical of movies, of music, of story, of video games, you know, everything. So if it's debunkers and paranormal channels, well, then just do a response video.
It's that simple.
It's
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 that
simple.
that what was done to Beardo was malicious, intentionally malicious. I hate all of this. I think it's clear from his comments that Dust from Dust Productions, from the Dust YouTube channel. I think it's clear from his comments he's kind of in the same headspace as me, as where both of us would really like to say everything we're thinking,
Right.
and we normally would and don't care what the backlash would be for us. But all too often, we have to keep it quiet and be a little bit more judicious with the way we speak to protect others, and it's very
Right.
frustrating.
At least be more diplomatic.
Diplomatic is a good word, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say some things here. But I have a theory that I think other people are avoiding, but I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it, and it's a little bit conspiratorial, Doug. But let me get there. And it stems less from Ghost Club Paranormal doing three strikes and more from Spectral Paranormal, because that story is a little bit more unique to me. Where he says, "Please watch my video and critique it. Please see
Right.
if you can debunk my stuff." And
Right.
then
And
he
it had been
strikes him.
on. Right. And it had been on him for 3 months to do it.
That
It
to
had been on.
me feels
He'd
like
been on other
bait.
channels to do it.
Yeah, but to me that was baiting him to review him so he can get the bad review and put the copyright strike out. This is very. I got to be very clear about this. This is very much a theory and not a fact. This is a feeling I have
Oh,
based
understood.
on context clues. Very clear. Um, there was a while back. I won't mention names, but a channel with people on it who aren't the greatest people in the world had someone in their chat who's also a very well person. Even if you listen to Believe This, my other podcast with Patricia Ray, this well-known person in the chat stated that's affiliated with these people on this podcast on YouTube said, "I think I'll go after the debunkers next." Then a very prominent figure in the paranormal passed away.
Hmm.
And Beardo, who is one of the most well-known debunkers out there, he's one of the more recognizable guys. He's got a look to him, he's got a feel to him. Everyone knows fucking Beardo. Beardo's the reason why I know about the bunkers.
Hmm.
And I only know about the bunkers because of his conflict he had with Casper Site when I was watching him review top 5 videos. So,
Oh,
for a
wow.
lot of people, Beardo's like an icon in the debunking field. I feel. I think that's. I don't think that's unfair to say. He's one of the bigger, more well-known people, even though his channel is not large in context of other people who do paranormal investigations or fake channels, as you might see.
Right. It's still pretty big, like in the realm of debunkers.
Beardo would make a great target for debunkers who want to not be criticized by the one person who represents all the people who would actually tell the truth about the lies that you tell. So this person, after Beardo says something that had nothing to do with the death of this individual, was attacked by those people. I'm going to go after the bunkers, and then they went after Beardo.
Hmm.
It didn't go very well for them. Beardo didn't get hurt by it or anything, but shortly after, the Spectral Paranormal thing happens. And then the Ghost Club Paranormal thing happens. I'm wondering if it is feasible, knowing these people and how they act, that there might be some backroom meetings going on where they agreed to target Beardo and making an example out of him to try to tempt down the bunker channels and make it harder for people to call out their bullshit.
I mean, it's extremely possible.
I mean,
Um,
it is a
and,
far-fetched theory,
and
but you gotta
but
look at
thinking
these
about
people.
it, the timeline roughly matches up of when Spectral Paranormal. Oh, and can I say, why do these people have such generic channel names? They're so generic. Um, like Fear the Living, but like that sounds like something. Just saying everything paranormal, 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 but a basic word with it is just like, oh, guys, you couldn't think
Ghost
of anything
Club
else.
Paranormal, Spectral Paranormal.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like even
just
with
like
like the debunkers and
paranormal in it.
stuff, you have spaghetti paranormale, and it's like, okay, that's better. That's not always put together.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Get
gotta
creative,
gotta
Dan.
love that one. I love that one.
Yeah, if you're going to be putting up fake paranormal videos, be creative with your name.
Yeah, Boo Paranormal
Allegedly
Productions
fake.
Toledo or whatever. That's a bad example, but you know what I mean. Sorry, Jeff and Dana. Sorry,
Yeah,
they
Jeff,
get
we
they
love
get the
you. Jeff
joke.
and Dana.
They get the joke. So yeah,
Um,
so yeah, I
but
don't know, man. It seems like it's weird that they went after him specifically. I know there were strikes on Real Evidence and on Seg as well, but Seg was more with TV channels and Sam and Colby.
yeah, yeah, and what was it, Sam and Colby, or was it? No, I think Twin Paranormal
Was it Twin
was one of
Paranormal who
them.
struck Seg? It might have
I
been.
I think so. I think they did like one time and then kind of retracted it and were like, hey, sorry, you know that's our media guy. And it's like, oh, weird.
Well,
Okay, and then they seem to ignore him from then on.
I mean, look at the different ways people treat things. Like, I don't think of Twin Paranormal as a group of people who are rational, reasonable people that I would like or want to be around or support. But at least he treated the shit the right way when it came down to it. They did the right thing. I
Right.
feel like
Ultimately,
Ghost
yeah.
Club was
Ultimately, they
arm was
did.
twisted a little bit. Maybe
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we probably won't know because it seems like all the Ghost Club does is deflection. Again, my opinion. Just
I
watching
would like to
the
know if this
channels, and
name that I'm not mentioning has anything to do with any of this because it wouldn't shock me. It really
it's.
wouldn't shock
I
me.
mean, it's quite possible. How long ago did that person in the paranormal field pass away? A few months.
I'll probably give it away. They died the exact same time Dan Rivera died.
Ah,
like to the
that,
second.
but like that's what I'm saying is like I think if you look at the timeline, then of course this is conspiracy hour at that point. But if
Right,
you look
right,
at
right.
the timeline, about when that happened might be around when Spectral Paranormal started begging Beardo and other channels to try to debunk their stuff because you can't debunk our stuff. But these are the same guys that are trying to say that lightning strikes in the area will not set off EMF detectors.
And I think it was even farther back that Ghost Club was making comments that Beardo would like to see them dead, like really over speaking, something like that, like to see them unalived. But the like the person I'm thinking of would have seen that probably, like, what a perfect person to use for this and get them on board for such a movement.
Right. I mean, we know, of course, personally that the debunking community chats amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it is quite possible that the paranormal community of certain types of channels also talk to each other.
The Griftables also have their own group, yeah, their own
Yeah,
group chat or communication
uh,
tunnels, yeah.
essentially, yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's not just possible; it's likely. So Beardo, we love you. Yeah, I hope that this kind of that
I
this
I
is the end of it.
I don't think Beardo should change how he does his channel.
No, I don't either. I
I
mean,
think he should keep going.
people getting angry at his stuff now. Go back and watch his stuff from a year ago. He was much more vitriolic.
Yeah, he's a like a calm Santa Claus right now.
Right.
He's been for a while. I'll tell you what. I know Seg was having trouble doing television reviews, reactions, and he's put the Seg mask face or the animated Seg head on all his videos. When we do our review of Destination X, I'm only going to put up short clips that kind of reflect in small screen that reflect what we're describing and reacting to, and not the whole show.
Right.
I think that's a safer way to do it, and maybe that might be a better way to do the YouTube reaction videos, maybe.
Well, I have seen something with uh, some of the channels that review like movies and TV shows and stuff, where they will they will show a clip of what they're talking about or about to talk about, but they use the audio
Yeah, they're
and then they just
reacting
use
more. It's more them
they just
reacting than
use
the video. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
right. Well, there's still something visual. They just use still frames,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and just like advance it every 10 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Something like
it's,
that's what I'm
it's
thinking. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Instead of just using the actual full clip, because yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a safer way to go, and maybe a way to prevent future strikes.
right. It's a possibility at
I
least.
mean, but if people want to
Um,
maliciously come after you, you can do a perfect episode and they'll strike you anyway. You can do everything right. Because I think Beardo
right,
already did everything right.
right, and that's the thing. Like Flurry was pointing out in her live stream the night before we were recording this. If a channel is found to be doing that stuff maliciously, YouTube starts restricting your channel. They make it so that if they found that you did it maliciously, they take away your ability to issue any strikes for a little while. And then even when it comes back, you're still on the radar if you go and do it again. For something that's not actually, you know, like a copyright strikeable offense.
So let me put this out here now as part of my conspiracy talk here. If you are somebody who is contacted by a person and asked to go after Beardo or anybody else, and this backlash comes back at you and hurts you, come to me at ftl213@gmail.com and tell me about it. I want to talk to you. Just letting you know that and get that out of the way. You didn't sign any NDA with that person, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe you might have done NDAs with with a TV show,
Yeah.
probably not with a YouTube channel.
Nah, I doubt it. Yeah, I mean, do you have anything else to say on that matter?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. Just I mean, especially. Okay, I guess that wasn't it. But especially because in this case with Ghost Club Paranormal, their
Oh,
own
yes.
audience, their own audience had issues with the video that Beardo reacted to and had issues with because they were playing the audio from that last day at Jonestown to try to summon Jim Jones. And that feels so incredibly tasteless.
This comes right
You
back
know,
around to what you said in the beginning about telling the right truth about people's stories instead of using it for your own gain and reworking it however you can to make clicks and views.
right. And that's honestly the thing. The original stories are paramount. I love the original stories. Even if it's from people that might be mistaken, may have misidentified things, you know, get the original stories. When people
And I
keep
know
embellishing,
I know we talked about how long do you wait to deal with. I think it's perfectly acceptable, even if there's still a few people who were affected by their loved one's death at Jonestown, to do a ghost investigation, but never use the freaking audio of their death.
yeah, that's over the line.
That's gross.
Again, my feeling, but it seems to be a lot of folks' feeling. Even their own audience, their own audience uh, was actually talking back to them and going, "Why are you using this?" It's like even if you used it, why are you putting it on your video?
Let me put this in perspective for younger people who are more in their 20s and 30s that might be able to relate to this better. It's like if you had a family member at 9/11 at the buildings, at the World Trade Center, and they played raw footage of people jumping out of the building to avoid the fire from 80 stories up to try to communicate with their spirits. Would you be okay with
Yeah,
that? Because I wouldn't be
at,
okay with that.
yeah, at ground zero.
Yeah.
At the memorial there.
Yeah,
If people were
doing the
trying to
investigation
investigate that
there,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, like it. So
When
it
is too
does.
I like to say when is it too far, but we know when it's too far. It
Right,
should be intrinsically easy to tell as a human being when too far is too far for that.
right. It's one thing if if it's a documentary, whether it's on YouTube or or Netflix or whatever. It's one thing if it's a documentary that uses footage or audio like that. They're going to have gotten the clearances. They're going to have tried to talk to the families if they could. And they'll have warnings and stuff. It's just like, okay, this is going to be the actual audio on a ghost hunting, supposedly psychic YouTube channel. People are not expecting something like that generally.
No, like you said, you had viewers that are fans of theirs that probably don't know anyone who died at Jonestown that are incredibly disturbed by that audio.
Right. And it's
And should be.
it's
That's
really
human. That's human.
right. I mean, like I've watched the Jonestown documentaries. There's a podcast called Quite Unusual that did like a 4 or 5 episode thing about Jonestown. And they talked about it and they did use some audio. But they did preface it every time and just go like, look, this is really a lot. You know, but they were covering the case. They weren't going here. We're going to do paranormal investigations and try to summon the spirit of Jim Jones in one of his old churches, or a church he went to at least, using the audio. It's like, no, stop.
Yeah, it's really
What are you
blurring the
doing?
lines between just not doing what you do and doing something that you have no business doing. Does that make
Right.
sense? What I just said? I don't know.
I think so. I think people should understand kind of what we're meaning with that.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of like uh, another one of the channels recently did an investigation trying to contact. Oh, why am I blanking on his name? The guy that Silence of the Lambs was the inspiration of Ed Gein.
Ed Gein. Yeah.
Yeah, that they were trying to do an investigation, trying to contact the spirit of Ed Gein. So they got like one of his actual knives and dirt from his farm and dirt supposedly from a grave involved with it. And it's like, what?
Why?
What are you guys doing? It's like that's
I don't
icky.
even.
That's weird.
I don't even understand what they're trying to convince people make sense about that. I don't even
Right.
see it. I can't see it.
Yeah, one of my friends had a fascination with serial killers and areas where that kind of thing happens. So he actually wrote to serial killers in prison so that he could have a letter that they wrote. And he had a guy that got him things like dirt from Ed Gein's burned down farm and things like that. And he trusted the guy, but he wasn't sitting there going, "All right, I'm going to put these all over YouTube. I'm going to do paranormal investigation for it." He was doing his own weird collection for himself, which I didn't entirely understand. But it's like, okay, you're doing your own thing. You're telling me about it, but you're not subjecting the general public to it.
Yeah, I
You know,
guess. Yeah.
so it's weird, but it's not shoving it in everybody's face.
I guess.
Really weird, but but he wasn't shoving it in everybody's face with it either. It's like I felt it was weird, but then not as horribly. My family has a rock from the Snowy River that the man from Snowy River was shot on and was about. And it's like, well, that's cool. That's a piece of the area.
That's cool. Yeah.
But it's not some place that somebody got killed. You know.
Yeah, I'll never understand those fascinations. Honestly, like, I just can't. I just
I
can't.
mean, true crime is big, but then people are like collecting the actual things and communicating with the actual killers, and it's ugh. Okay.
Was there anything else that we missed in that last episode, Doug? Just try to move along a little bit.
Um, I think no, I think that's about it. Because like the only other thing was the importance of the actual true stories,
It
and
is
and we
important.
kind of got there.
We kind of got there.
Yeah.
It actually came full circle. That's how we started. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
I think we get a lot wrapped up in how can we make this. Not we. Um, People trying to sell their museums and their visits and their brand off of people's real life tragedies. You talk about the fire doll, right? and you
Mhm.
twist that into something scarier to try to make a buck. It's gross and it's wrong, and it's not a
And
victimless thing
it's
at all.
right. And it's like, especially in that case, that seems to be just an amalgam of stuff just mashed together. You know.
Agreed. Agreed. And I think it's I think it creates a lot of rage bait for debunkers and people like us that want to know the truth, because we'll watch people in the future sell that as the truth, knowing that we saw when that was made up. Like we
Right.
know the true story and we know who made it up and when it was made up, and now it's being sold as history. It's very disturbing.
Right. People are gonna go back to certain videos and go, look, 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 this was talked about here. This is real. And it's like, is it really though?
So frustrating. So frustrating. Oh, you know what time it is, Doug? I would like to play a game.
Oh boy.
It's
Oh,
time
it's game time.
for it's time for fake spiel or real deal.
Well, I
We
do
all
have
know
my
how this
skeptic.
works. Oh, I
Oh,
went back to the game.
I would like to play a
Let me get
game.
that off of here. Yeah, technical difficulties. You know how it is.
oh, that's all right. Well, I do have my skeptic hat on here, so
Well, there
we'll
you
see if we
go.
can
So you're ready.
see if we can
You're
suss these out.
so Doug is no stranger to this game, but in case you watching at home are, fake spiel or real deal is where I give three headlines. Two are real and two are fake. One is fake, and you got to guess the fake one. Doug will get to ask three questions about each story after he hears the headlines for context, and you'll have to determine which story he thinks is fake. And after the show, there'll be a poll on YouTube where you guys can go ahead and vote on what you think is a fake story is, and we'll see who was right. Did you guys win, or did I win? And that's how fake spiel or real deal works. Let me find my three articles here. I think I lost them.
Uh-oh. Hard to run the game
Yeah.
without the articles.
Kind of need your headlines to play headline games, right?
Oh yeah.
All
So
right,
is
here we
it
go.
is it only one is false, or is it possibly more than one is false?
One is false, two are true.
Okay.
And when you say true, we got to use true loosely, right? Because they may be stories that are either kind of pending a result, they may be debunked later on, but if I'm considering them a real headline, it means they exist in headlines. The fake one isn't even made in a headline anywhere. So it's got to be a real headline, whether the story checks out or not. Just for a little bit of perspective there. So, headline number one: Residents report strange activity at the historic Dossing House. Investigators are called in. Headline 2: A vintage car graveyard in Western Germany. And it's kind of like a photo article. It's weird. But there's an article there for it. And then there's dead Thai woman sent to crematorium, wakes up in coffin. Let me
Hmm.
read those back to you again just for clarity. Dead Thai woman sent to crematorium, wakes up in coffin. There is a car graveyard in Germany. That's probably going to need some context. Residents report strange activity at the historic Dawson House, and investigators are called in.
Okay. Well, the Dawson House thing. What was the activity that they found that made them call the investigators?
This
Excuse
might
me.
be one of the most lamest things I've ever seen for an article, by the way. Footsteps and knocks and loud noises inside the sealed home that's been abandoned in St. Augustine, Florida. I am not familiar with the Dawson House. It's historic, apparently. But they're hearing all these loud sounds, and they said there's no sign of. I'm giving you way more information than you're asking for. Loud sounds, knocks and footsteps, louder than
Okay.
usual,
All
but no
right.
one's there apparently.
Right. Hmm.
I gave you a lot. I almost read the whole article to you. My bad. Or
Uh,
summarized it. You get two more questions.
well,
That's my fault. You still get two questions.
okay. Does it say who the investigators were that they brought in?
Got some witnesses. No, apparently the investigators. This is interesting. The investigators that were brought in were like police detectives. It wasn't like a paranormal. Actually, no,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I found it.
Nope.
The what is that? Ashley. The Ashley Paranormal Research Group, APRG.
Okay.
I don't know them either, but I don't know many research groups. Ashley Paranormal Research Group, APRG. What's your third question on this?
Well, I'm not in Florida, so so I would have to,
I am,
yes,
and it
stop
doesn't
and double
help me at
check.
all.
Um, so the third one, how long was the activity happening before they decided to actually try to call people in?
Well,
Or does it say?
let me find it here. Well, doesn't say how long, but
Okay.
it is a house that's used on like walking tours, so it's a popular
Oh,
stop.
okay. Okay.
But it's one of those you walk by and talk about, and they tell you the history. They don't really go inside,
Right.
obviously. But I'm not
Yeah.
seeing a timeline here. Just
Okay.
that the noises are louder than usual now. Any noises they
Hmm.
would have heard before. It's interesting. This article leaves it open. Like I said, some of these might be disproven or debunked. Like it leaves it open for like bad plumbing or something.
Right. Or people squatting or something.
Well, it's sealed. There's no sign of forced entry. You got a freebie on that one. So not squatters. All right, time to ask questions on. I'll let you ask questions on the vintage car graveyard in Germany. There's like a whole photo section here.
Okay. Well, so what, yeah, what was the, activity or the strange thing with it?
The strange thing is just the strange car. The vintage cars are all being parked by this German man in just the woods in a certain spot, and there's like this wide array of cars, different years, different conditions, different paint jobs.
Hmm.
A lot of weirdness. It's an interesting thing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um,
And
is
this is
there,
part because I didn't give you a whole lot. The article title is the article title.
yeah, so I was wondering if there was any strange activity around it besides just the cars being there.
I don't think this is a haunting story, but there's some haunting images though.
Well, yeah, it winds up being like an urbex type thing or
Kind
abandoned
of,
area type things.
I guess. I would actually be curious to walk through and look at everything, but I probably wouldn't want to touch anything.
Right. And how does it say anything about like how far it is away from like populated areas?
Interesting question. Um, it's doesn't say, but it's being kept in what's called a vintage Ford car. No, that's what's in it. Sits in a private car sculpture park within the forest of Neanderthal Valley.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it might be a
There's
little
a
ways
valley
away
called
from.
Neanderthal. What's that?
I see. Yeah, so so it might be a little ways away, even if it's not a very long way. At least it's a little ways away from probably like regular homes and stuff.
I wish I could
If they're
describe this better for you without giving it away. It is weird.
if they're like running tours through it and stuff or letting people go around it, it's probably not right near houses.
I don't think there's tours. I think this is just this guy's hobby. He buys vintage cars and stacks them in the woods, and I don't know how to describe this to you, dude.
That's okay. I mean, that's
now,
basically my two questions, though. So,
now it's the dead Thai woman sent to a crematorium who wakes up in her coffin.
that's, I mean, that's a thing that's happened before.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
where the dead
like,
bell comes
like,
from, right? There was a
like,
bell put
yeah,
fixated on top of graves so they can ring it if they find out they're really still alive and alert
right.
the
Because
graveyard.
yeah, because there were things, but that was, ages ago. So when does this one happen? Is this a recent thing?
Probably. The article's from November of this year, so it must be a recent thing.
Okay. Is the woman okay now?
Uh, um, I mean, she's still alive, and she uses the word "ask how she feels" as indifferent.
Eh,
I don't think I would be indifferent.
Maybe it's a bit of a cultural thing.
I mean, she needed medical attention,
Right.
but I mean, I think she may have had a bit of a panic attack in there. It looks like
Oh, gotcha. And how long was she in it? Like how long did they have her kind of, tucked away thinking that she was dead?
um, I could be wrong, but it appears it's saying for 2 days. She appeared to
Oh, that's
stop
long.
breathing 2 days prior, so I don't know how long it takes them to put. Wait a minute, aren't people? Well, I guess you don't get embalmed if you're being cremated.
Right. And also it's over in Taiwan, so things could be done differently over there too.
Sure, it's a free service. If that helps.
Hmm. Oh, it's definitely better than over. That's better than over here. Even for cremations over here, it costs kind of a
You
lot.
go in the debt by dying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as much as like the big ornate coffins and things, but it can still be a bit of a bill there.
I would say so. So what do
And
you
so
think based
between
on
so
what you got?
between those three, um, I am feeling that the Thai woman one is the false one.
Thai woman.
Yeah,
Is that your final
because
answer?
yes, it is. I mean,
Okay,
I guess we'll
folks. What?
we'll find out in the next episode, but
Exactly. So everybody watching at home and looking on YouTube, go find the poll, which I hopefully remember to put up, and vote. And do you agree with Doug? Do you think it's a different story? Is he right? Is it the Thai woman in the cremation, or is it one of the other two wild stories? Let us know. In the meantime, it has been great catching up with you, Doug. I'm glad you agreed to come in. I'm sorry Stevie wasn't here for this. Stevie, feel better? Get back here quick. Or when you need to. I'm not trying to rush you or anything.
yeah, definitely as soon as you're able to, Stevie.
Yeah, we the best Stevie is the 100% Stevie, or the closest thing to it that she can be.
Right.
All right, Doug. Maybe I'll make you. Maybe we'll make you like a regular alternate if you wanted that. I don't know. I'll think about it.
It could be interesting. I mean, I do keep roughly up on the paranormal community stuff, so
And
you
you're
know.
very insightful.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, our chemistry is a little slower, but I think it's good. I think we can do good.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
I just know the value of a encyclopedia of paranormal and more knowledge when I see it. It's tough. Anyway, we had fun. I hope you had fun at home. I hope you had fun watching this. Doug, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to have you back
Oh,
soon.
this is great.
And
Thank
we
you
have a
very
lot
much
of
for
great
having me again.
episodes. Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Everybody, check out the links to find out about Doug, about this Ghostbuster. What's the group called?
It was the 802 Ghostbusters.
The 802 Ghostbusters. Make sure you're checking out everybody else. You know who they are. And let's come back and do this again. Until then,
Cool.
I don't even know if this is going to air on a Tuesday, so I don't know if I can say see you next Tuesday.
See you some Tuesday.
See you sometime. Good night, everybody.
Good night.